There comes a moment in every human life when excuses become heavier than effort, when comfort becomes more painful than discipline, and when the person staring back from the mirror quietly asks a question that no one else can answer. How much longer will you continue to betray the life you were meant to live? That question cannot be escaped. It follows you into the morning. It waits beside your bed before the sun rises. It sits silently with you while the world celebrates distractions. It returns every night when your head touches the pillow, asking whether you merely survived another day or whether you truly lived it. Most people are not defeated because they lack intelligence. They are defeated because they underestimate the power of ordinary, repeated effort. They wait for motivation to arrive like a visitor, not realizing that motivation is often the reward for action, not the cause of it. The mountain does not lower itself because you feel tired. The river does not stop flowing because you feel uncertain. The seasons do not ask whether you are ready. Nature teaches one lesson over and over again. Everything valuable grows through patient consistency. Look at the bamboo. For years, it appears as though nothing is happening. The earth remains quiet. The surface looks unchanged. People walk past it believing the seed has failed. Yet beneath the soil, invisible roots spread in every direction, preparing for a growth that will one day astonish everyone who doubted it. Your life is no different. The deepest work is almost always invisible. No applause accompanies your private discipline. No audience watches you choose another hour of study. No crowd celebrates the morning you wake before dawn. No headlines announce the evening you refuse another distraction. Yet these silent decisions become the architecture of an extraordinary life. People admire confidence without understanding the lonely hours that built it. They admire strength without witnessing the weakness that had to be faced. They admire peace without knowing how many inner wars had to be fought in silence. The world sees the fruit. Only you know the roots. If you wish to transform your future, stop asking whether your efforts are being noticed. Ask instead whether your character is being strengthened. Because character is what remains when emotions disappear. Anyone can work hard for a day. Many can work hard for a week. Some can work hard for a month. Very few can continue when no reward appears. Even fewer can continue after failure. And that is where greatness quietly separates itself from mediocrity. The ancient masters often spoke of mastering the self before attempting to master the world. This sounds simple until you understand what the self truly is. The self is impatience. The self is laziness, disguised as logic. The self whispers that tomorrow will be better. The self negotiates with weakness. It creates stories to justify comfort. It tells you that one more hour of sleep will not matter. It tells you that one missed opportunity is insignificant. It tells you that your circumstances are unique, that your limitations are permanent, that your dreams are unrealistic. But notice something. The voice that encourages surrender never disappears after you obey it. It only grows louder. Every compromise feeds it. Every excuse strengthens it. Every delay teaches it that you can be controlled. Eventually, you are no longer making choices. Your habits are choosing for you. Freedom is not doing whatever you feel like doing. Freedom is becoming so disciplined that your highest values become stronger than your temporary emotions. That is true power. The strongest person is rarely the loudest. They do not waste energy proving themselves. They conserve it. Their focus becomes almost sacred. They understand that attention is life's greatest currency. Where attention goes, life follows. Every minute given to comparison is stolen from creation. Every hour spent complaining is borrowed from progress. Every day surrendered to distraction becomes another brick in the prison you unknowingly build for yourself. Guard your attention. Protect it as though your future depends on it, because it does. The modern world competes aggressively for your focus. Every notification pulls at your mind. Every opinion asks for your reaction. Every advertisement whispers that happiness exists somewhere outside of you. But wisdom has always pointed in the opposite direction. Peace is not found by adding more. It is discovered by removing what weakens you. Silence is not empty. Silence is where clarity begins. Sit quietly long enough, and you start hearing truths that noise has hidden for years. You begin noticing how often fear speaks, how often pride interferes, how often insecurity disguises itself as ambition. You realize that your greatest obstacle has rarely been another person. It has been the untrained mind. Imagine carrying a sword sharper than any weapon in history, but never learning how to hold it. That is the human mind without discipline. It possesses incredible power, yet left unattended, it cuts the one who carries it. Train the mind, and the same power becomes creation instead of destruction. Observe your thoughts without immediately believing them. Observe your emotions without allowing them to become commands. Feel fear, walk anyway. Feel doubt, continue anyway. Feel discomfort, remain anyway. Emotions are weather, character is climate. Weather changes every hour. Climate is built over decades. Do not build your identity around passing emotions. Build it around enduring principles. One of the greatest lies ever believed is that hard work guarantees immediate success. It does not. Hard work guarantees something far more valuable: transformation. Before your circumstances change, your identity changes. Before your income changes, your habits change. Before your influence grows, your integrity grows. Life rarely gives external rewards before internal preparation. It would be dangerous if it did. Imagine receiving everything you desire before developing the wisdom to handle it. Success without discipline becomes destruction. Power without humility becomes corruption. Opportunity without preparation becomes regret. So perhaps the delay you resent is actually protection. Perhaps life is asking one question: can you become the person capable of carrying the future you keep asking for? That question deserves more than words. It deserves your life. There are mornings when your body will resist. There are evenings when exhaustion will negotiate. There will be days when progress seems invisible. You will wonder whether any of it matters. That is precisely the moment your future is being decided. Because anyone can continue while inspired. Champions continue while ordinary feelings disappear. The tree survives storms because its roots deepen long before the wind arrives. Prepare yourself before hardship. Do not wait until life becomes difficult to develop discipline. Train while the skies are clear. Strength built during peaceful seasons becomes your shelter during chaos. Many people spend years searching for confidence. Confidence is not found, it is earned. Every promise you keep to yourself becomes another stone beneath your feet. Every commitment honored quietly strengthens the foundation beneath your identity. Eventually, you no longer need to convince yourself that you are capable. Your actions have already collected enough evidence. Self-respect grows this way, not from compliments, not from popularity, not from status, from integrity. From becoming someone whose words and actions are no longer strangers. There is a strange peace that arrives when your outer life begins matching your inner values. You no longer chase approval because purpose becomes enough. You no longer envy another person's path because your own journey demands your full attention. Comparison slowly loses its grip. The tree never envies the mountain. The ocean never competes with the stars. Everything fulfills its own nature. Your task is not becoming someone else. Your task is becoming fully yourself. But becoming yourself is harder than imitation. Imitation asks only for appearance. Authenticity demands courage. It asks you to stand alone when necessary, to continue when misunderstood, to remain patient while others seek shortcuts. The crowd often mistakes speed for progress, yet the wisest travelers know that direction matters infinitely more than pace. Walk slowly if necessary, but never walk backward into the life you already decided to leave. Your past should become a teacher, never a residence. Carry the lessons. Leave the chains. Every painful experience contains hidden instruction. Failure teaches precision. Loneliness teaches self-reliance. Disappointment teaches discernment. Loss teaches gratitude. Struggle teaches endurance. Nothing is wasted unless suffering teaches nothing. The strongest souls rarely emerge from easy lives. Pressure reveals what comfort conceals. Fire does not destroy gold. It reveals it. In the same way, adversity often uncovers strengths that comfort never could. When everything becomes difficult, do not immediately ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead ask, "Who is this experience asking me to become?" That single question transforms suffering into training. Suddenly, obstacles stop looking like punishments. They begin resembling teachers wearing difficult disguises. Every challenge becomes an invitation, not to complain, not to retreat, but to evolve. The human spirit is astonishingly adaptable. You have survived days you once believed impossible. You have recovered from pain that convinced you it would last forever. You have carried burdens that earlier versions of yourself could never have imagined lifting. Do not underestimate what already lives within you. Your future strength is hidden inside today's discipline, not tomorrow's intentions, today's actions. Right now, somewhere in the world, another person is choosing discipline over comfort. Another person is studying while others sleep. Another person is practicing while others entertain themselves. Another person is quietly becoming extraordinary while the world remains unaware. The question is never whether such people exist. The question is whether you will choose to become one of them. No announcement is required. No permission is needed. No perfect moment is coming. Only this moment exists. Only this breath. Only this decision. And perhaps that is life's greatest secret. Destiny is rarely created by dramatic moments. It is shaped by thousands of ordinary choices made with extraordinary consistency. The sunrise never rushes, yet it never fails. The moon never argues with the night, yet it always appears. Nature accomplishes magnificent things without panic because it remains faithful to its rhythm. Not find your rhythm, protect it, honor it. Whether progress is visible or hidden, whether people believe in you or doubt you, whether success arrives quickly or waits beyond horizons you cannot yet see, continue. Continue with quiet determination. Continue with humility. Continue with patience. Continue even when your own mind attempts to convince you that enough has already been done. Because somewhere beyond the limits of your current identity waits a version of yourself who no longer asks whether the work is worth it. Because that version has already discovered something your present mind is still learning. That the work itself is the reward before the reward ever arrives. There is a strange freedom that comes when you stop measuring every effort by immediate results. The farmer does not dig up the seed each morning to check whether it has begun to grow. He waters it. He protects it. He trusts the unseen process. He understands that impatience can destroy what patience alone can cultivate. Your dreams deserve that same trust. Too many lives remain unfinished because people mistake silence for failure. They look at an empty horizon and assume nothing is happening. Yet the deepest changes are rarely visible while they are taking place. The river carves the canyon not through violence, but through persistence. One drop appears insignificant. Millions of drops reshape stone. Never underestimate what repeated effort can do. One disciplined hour does not change a life. One disciplined hour repeated for years changes everything. One honest conversation may not transform a relationship. Honesty practiced every day transforms character. One workout does not build strength. One book does not create wisdom. One meditation does not bring peace. But every repetition leaves a mark so small that it escapes your notice, until one day you awaken and realize you have become someone entirely different. Transformation is almost always recognized in hindsight. While you are changing, it often feels as though nothing has changed. This is why so many people stop too early. They expect to feel extraordinary before they have earned extraordinary habits. Instead, they abandon the process at the very moment the roots are becoming strong enough to support lasting growth. Remain with the process. There are moments when discipline feels lonely because very few people understand it. They see only what you refuse. They do not see what you are protecting. They wonder why you leave the gathering early. They wonder why you wake before dawn. They wonder why you spend another evening learning instead of escaping into endless entertainment. They believe you are giving something up. They cannot yet see what you are building. The sculptor removes more stone than he keeps. To someone unfamiliar with the vision, it appears as destruction. Only the sculptor knows every strike of the hammer reveals the form already hidden within. Your discipline is the same. Every distraction you remove uncovers clarity. Every unnecessary desire you release uncovers peace. Every excuse you abandon uncovers strength. The masterpiece is not added to your life. It is revealed by removing everything that does not belong. Many people spend years trying to become stronger while refusing to let go of the habits that keep them weak. They seek confidence while feeding fear. They seek focus while protecting distraction. They seek peace while holding resentment. Growth requires subtraction as much as addition. Sometimes the next level of your life is not waiting for another opportunity. It is waiting for another decision. A decision to stop negotiating with your lower nature. Notice how often the mind bargains. It says, just this once. It says, you deserve a break. It says, tomorrow will be a better day to begin. Yet tomorrow speaks the same language. Tomorrow always promises another tomorrow. Years disappear inside that conversation. Do not argue endlessly with the voice of resistance. Observe it. Smile at it. Then continue walking. The clouds do not ask permission before passing across the sky. Neither should passing thoughts control your direction. You are not every thought that enters your mind. You are the awareness capable of choosing which thoughts deserve action. This realization changes everything. The untrained mind reacts. The disciplined mind responds. The reactive person becomes a prisoner of circumstances. The responsive person becomes the architect of destiny. Between every event and every response exists a silent space. Most people never notice it. They rush from feeling to action without awareness. Yet inside that invisible space lives your freedom, the ability to pause, the ability to choose, the ability to remain guided by principles instead of impulses. Every great life is built inside that space. When insult arrives, pause. When temptation arrives, pause. When fear arrives, pause. Within that pause, wisdom has a chance to speak before emotion takes control. Silence is not weakness. Silence is often the birthplace of mastery. The loudest storms eventually pass. The deepest oceans remain calm beneath them. Become like that ocean. Lime the surface to move without allowing the depths to become disturbed. This isn't indifference. It is inner stability. There will always be reasons to become angry. There will always be opportunities to become discouraged. There will always be people who misunderstand your intentions. If your peace depends upon perfect circumstances, your peace will never last. Instead, cultivate a center within yourself that circumstances cannot easily reach. That center grows every time you choose wisdom over reaction. Every time you forgive without forgetting your lesson. Every time you remain kind without becoming weak. Every time you continue your work despite criticism. There is immense power in becoming difficult to distract. Imagine if every opinion no longer determined your mood. Imagine if every setback no longer defined your identity. Imagine if every delay no longer weakened your commitment. What could stop you then? The answer is almost nothing. Most limitations exist first within imagination before they appear in reality. The cage is often built long before the door is locked. People convince themselves they cannot because they have repeated the same story for years. Be careful what you repeatedly tell yourself. The mind listens. The heart believes. The body obeys. If each morning begins with defeat spoken internally, your actions gradually become faithful servants of those words. Speak carefully to yourself, not with empty optimism, with truthful encouragement. Remind yourself that difficult does not mean impossible. Remind yourself that slow does not mean stagnant. Remind yourself that every master was once unfamiliar with the path. No one begins as the person they eventually become. The oak was once hidden inside an acorn. The eagle first struggled inside a shell. Everything magnificent begins in forms that appear ordinary. Do not despise humble beginnings. Respect them. Every meaningful journey begins before anyone notices. There is dignity in invisible effort. There is honor in practicing when nobody applauds. There is greatness in remaining faithful when recognition never arrives. Recognition is temporary. Character endures. If the world never knew your name, but your soul recognized your integrity, would that not still be a life of profound success? Ask yourself this often, because many people become famous while remaining strangers to themselves. Others remain unknown while becoming deeply at peace. Which life truly represents wealth? The richest person is not always the one possessing the most. It is often the one requiring the least. Contentment is not the enemy of ambition. They walk together beautifully. Contentment says, I am grateful for today. Ambition says, I will honor tomorrow. One roots you, the other moves you forward. Without gratitude, ambition becomes endless hunger. Without ambition, gratitude becomes complacency. Balance both. Walk forward while appreciating each step beneath your feet. You cannot hate yourself into becoming someone you love. Real discipline is not born from self-hatred. It is born from self-respect. You exercise because your body deserves strength. You study because your mind deserves wisdom. You rest because your spirit deserves renewal. You refuse destructive habits because your future deserves protection. Everything changes when discipline becomes an expression of love instead of punishment. The warrior who trains only from anger eventually becomes exhausted. The one who trains from purpose becomes nearly unstoppable. Purpose outlasts emotion. Purpose survives failure. Purpose remains standing when motivation quietly leaves the room. Discover your purpose beneath your goals. Goals can be completed. Purpose continues. Goals are destinations. Purpose is direction. When direction is clear, temporary detours no longer create despair. Even mistakes become teachers. Even delays become preparation. Even suffering becomes meaningful. Nothing is empty when purpose fills it. There will come days when life strips away everything familiar. Plans will collapse. People will leave. Certainties will disappear. The identity built only upon possessions or titles begins to shake. But the identity built upon discipline remains standing. Why? Because discipline cannot be taken away. No one can steal your patience. No one can confiscate your integrity. No one can remove your courage without your permission. These become treasures, stored where circumstances cannot easily reach them. Protect these treasures. Invest in them daily. A person who governs the inner world walks through the outer world with remarkable steadiness. The wind may change direction. The road may become difficult. The destination may seem farther than before. Yet their steps remain measured. Their breathing remains calm. Their eyes remain clear. Not because life has become easier, because they have become stronger. Strength is not measured by how much weight your body can carry. It is measured by how much truth your spirit can carry without collapsing. Can you carry disappointment without surrendering your kindness? Can you carry success without losing your humility? Can you carry criticism without abandoning your purpose? Can you carry uncertainty without surrendering your faith in consistent effort? These are the questions that shape a human being from the inside out. Never fear becoming a beginner again. Life will repeatedly invite you into unfamiliar territory. Every new season demands new understanding. The ego resists beginning. Wisdom welcomes it. A full cup cannot receive fresh water. Remain teachable. Remain curious. Remain humble enough to admit that every experience contains another lesson, waiting patiently for the one who is willing to listen. The strongest trees continue growing rings long after they appear mature. Growth never insults maturity. It fulfills it. So continue growing even after success arrives. Continue learning even after recognition appears. Continue refining your habits even after others begin calling you disciplined. The moment you believe there is nothing left to improve, decline quietly begins. Stay awake. Stay aware. Stay hungry for wisdom rather than applause, because applause fades almost as quickly as it begins. Wisdom deepens with every passing year, and somewhere beyond another ordinary morning, another quiet decision, another unseen act of discipline, another moment when you choose purpose over comfort, your future self is waiting with a calm smile, knowing that every sacrifice you are making today is slowly preparing you to recognize a truth that cannot be understood through words alone. It must be lived. There are truths that no book can place inside you. No teacher can hand them to you. No speech can transfer them into your heart. They are earned one decision at a time, one difficult morning at a time, one quiet victory over yourself at a time. That is why the journey has always been personal. Someone can point toward the path. No one can walk it for you. And perhaps this is the greatest privilege of being alive, that every sunrise offers another opportunity to become someone your yesterday could not imagine. Do not wait for a different life. Build one. Do not wait until fear disappears. Walk with it until courage becomes louder. Do not wait until every answer arrives. Take the next faithful step and let the next one reveal itself when the time comes. Life has never demanded perfection. It has always asked for presence, for sincerity, for commitment, for the willingness to rise one more time than you fall. Remember that every morning is a quiet invitation. When the world is still asleep and the first light begins to touch the earth, existence asks you the same question it asked yesterday. Who will you become today? Not next month, not next year, today. Will you become the person who continues negotiating with comfort, or the one who quietly keeps the promises made to the soul? Every decision is casting a vote. Every action is shaping an identity. You are never merely choosing what to do. You are choosing who you become. That understanding changes ordinary moments into sacred ones. Suddenly, making your bed is no longer about a bed. It is about order. Finishing your work is no longer about the task. It is about integrity. Keeping your word is no longer about reputation. It is about honoring your own spirit. The smallest actions become mirrors, reflecting the deepest parts of your character. Never believe that greatness is reserved for extraordinary moments. Greatness is hidden inside ordinary moments, handled with extraordinary awareness. The world celebrates dramatic victories. Life is built through quiet ones. The victory of saying no when temptation whispers. The victory of remaining calm when anger demands expression. The victory of continuing after disappointment. The victory of beginning again after failure. The victory of believing in tomorrow without abandoning today's responsibility. These victories rarely make headlines, yet they reshape destinies. One day you will look back and realize that the hardest battles were invisible. No medals were awarded. No crowds applauded. No one knew the conversations you had with yourself. No one saw the nights when giving up seemed reasonable. No one witnessed the mornings when your body begged for comfort while your purpose called you forward. Yet those moments mattered more than anyone could ever understand, because every time you refused to surrender, something inside you awakened, not loudly, quietly, like the first light before dawn, like a seed breaking through the darkness beneath the earth, like a mountain standing through another storm. Strength rarely announces its arrival. It simply becomes part of who you are. One day, people will call you resilient. They will admire your composure. They will wonder how you remain steady while everything around you changes. They will think you were born that way. Only you will know the truth. You will remember the countless moments when no one was watching. You will remember choosing discipline over ease, purpose over pleasure, patience over panic, growth over comfort, again and again and again. That is how greatness is formed. Not in one magnificent decision, but in thousands of invisible ones. Never envy another person's chapter. You have not lived their lessons. You have not carried their burdens. Walk your own path with dignity. Move at your own pace with unwavering commitment. The sun never apologizes for rising slowly. The stars never compete with the moon. Everything meaningful unfolds according to its own rhythm. Trust yours. There will still be difficult days. There will still be unexpected losses. There will still be moments when uncertainty stands before you like an unmovable mountain. But now you will understand something different. The mountain is no longer there to stop you. It is there to reveal the strength you have spent years building. Challenges do not arrive to ask whether you are capable. They arrive to reveal that you already are. Stand before life with quiet confidence, not because you know everything, but because you know you can learn. Not because you cannot fall, but because you know you will rise. Not because the road is easy, but because you have become someone who no longer depends upon easy roads. The greatest victory is not becoming stronger than another person. It is becoming stronger than the version of yourself that once surrendered too quickly. The version that doubted, the version that delayed, the version that feared discomfort more than regret. Honor that person. Without them, you would never recognize your own growth. Then gently leave them behind. Do not carry old identities into new seasons. The caterpillar cannot become the butterfly while clinging to the shell that once protected it. There comes a time when safety becomes limitation, when familiar becomes confinement, when comfort quietly becomes the greatest obstacle to your future. Have the courage to outgrow what once served you, even if it feels unfamiliar, even if others do not understand, even if the first steps feel uncertain. Growth has always required leaving behind a version of yourself that could no longer carry the life waiting ahead. The world does not need another person driven only by noise, ego, or endless comparison. It needs people whose strength is rooted in wisdom, whose confidence is grounded in humility, whose discipline comes from love rather than fear, whose success uplifts others instead of diminishing them. Become that person. Walk into every room without needing to prove your worth. Your actions will speak long before your words ever have to. Carry yourself with the quiet certainty of someone who has made peace with hard work. Let your consistency become your reputation. Let your patience become your advantage. Let your integrity become your signature. And when no one is watching, work. When no one believes, work. When the results seem invisible, work. When the voice of comfort becomes persuasive, work. Not because someone is keeping score, not because recognition is guaranteed, but because every honest effort shapes the person you will become. At the end of your life, the greatest question will not be how many people applauded you, It will not be how much praise followed your name. It will not be how comfortable your journey was. The deepest question will be far simpler. Did you become everything you were capable of becoming? Did you honor the gifts placed within you? Did you meet fear with courage? Did you meet difficulty with discipline? Did you meet each new day with the determination to leave your soul stronger than you found it? If your answer is yes, then no obstacle was wasted. No sacrifice was meaningless. No struggle was in vain, because the greatest masterpiece you will ever create is not a business, not a fortune, not a reputation. It is yourself, day by day, choice by choice, breath by breath. Build that masterpiece with patience. Protect it with discipline. Refine it with humility. Strengthen it with truth. And never forget that the most powerful person in the world is not the one who has conquered cities, accumulated wealth, or silenced crowds. The most powerful person is the one who has conquered their own mind, mastered their own habits, remained faithful to their own purpose, and transformed their own life from the inside out. The day you stop waiting for life to change and begin changing yourself with unwavering discipline is the day your destiny quietly begins to change with you. So rise before your excuses. Stand taller than your fears. Work harder than you did yesterday. Guard your peace. Master your mind. Honor your word. Sham your character. And every single day, become the person your future is already waiting to meet.